dude. It's a 10-point, I think.
Just got a text from Tyler saying they got a buck down. Let's go.
We're gonna all come in together and go grab the deer for the first time and take a look at him. So it's gonna be fun.
Well, right here.
I mean, he ain't far. Might be in that. He's in that tip right there.
On the blood trail right here.
That's what he's at.
There he is. Woo! He's bigger than
What a pillow.
That's a pillow, dude. That's the first thing I thought when he turned sideways.
My gosh.
Was pillow.
Dude, that is
5 on that, dude.
a high five. Good stuff, dude. It's awesome.
Just a blessing this morning, man. Like Eric and I were sitting there talking about the wind this morning, and it was iffy. But I knew one thing, that as the sun came up, it was going to be a beautiful morning either way. We've talked about that several times on this trip. This is awesome country, and the plan just worked. Those deer came in basically right down the edge of those willows, and I think, you know, looking at it, those 2 does came in first, and then the 2 bucks came in not long after them, but the does were surprised that the bucks were there, which means to me that they weren't in the same group. Therefore, definitely a pattern in my opinion there. And so we've had a pretty tough hunt this go around in South Dakota so far. This stuff we've seen a lot of bucks, but it's really difficult. And when something like that happens and you go in on a blind hanging hunt in the morning in the dark, never been there, never seen which tree you need to hang in, and you shoot a deer at 20 yards, it just makes you feel like you aren't clueless, you know? So I do appreciate that. And like I said, it's a blessing anytime you get to shoot a deer. It's icing on the cake, and just can't believe this. When he was coming at me, I was like, man, that's a pretty good deer, you know? And I told Eric right off the bat, shooter. And then when he turned, I was like, we've been making this joke about these deer, that they're built like pillows. And the first thing I thought when he turned sideways was pillow deer, you know? Gosh, he's just huge. Like, you know, Hunter said, they don't make them like this in East Texas. The head stops about right here. So anyway, just a awesome buck, you know. Good way to follow up Nebraska. We had a good time there too. And I think there's gonna be more to follow. It sounds like KC and Hunter definitely made some headway today in their scouting. I'm gonna get the full report here in a second after we get this thing gutted up, and hopefully can get him out on a game cart. This stuff is super thick. This is definitely prime bedding habitat for these bucks, and it's not far from town, so you know it takes that kind of thing. It takes thick bedding when you're in an urban area like that to be able to shoot good bucks like this that have 10 points. It's awesome. It's way better than what I thought I was going to end up leaving with. A lot bigger than the deer I shot last year, and I would have been happy either way. So at this point, there's a chance I'm doing some sharp-tail hunting.
What'd you do?
Woo! Nice. Dude. Look at the body on that thing.
Wait till we flip him flat. God. He's a hog.
Look at the body on that, dude.
He's like 45 yards from our tree.
Good shot, man.
That's awesome.
So, did you shoot the 8-point that we saw, too?
Different 8-point.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Dadgummit, sir.
He shot over its back, and then it came back in, and he didn't take another shot. I'm like, Chris, what are you doing?
He was going.
Just got set up for an evening hunt. Didn't get to hunt this morning because my bow sight came loose last night. After we had lunch, just decided to bow back in. So, past couple hunts have not been the best. I'm thinking it's going to turn around today.
saying like 35 yards. We had backtracked to come back to this tree. And that's dumb. I should have never done that. I should have found something to make it work down there. But it is what it is. This is last light, so I busted out the grunt call. I started blowing grunt a couple times just to see if I could get him to move. Sure enough, like dead silent. He circled around and got downwind of us. How was he that quiet? I don't know. How was he that quiet? I don't know. I never got to see his antlers. But I figured he was big. I know that's the sound of a buck blowing. Man, that close, Eric. Happy birthday.